Hello all and welcome back to High Ridge Farm with me, the Walrus. As you can see here, we are in our final 3 days of the autumn season, which should be a very profitable time for us, as now we're going to be harvesting a large quantity of crops and not bothering to water them again, because there's no point. However, I am going to water some of the crops that haven't yet provided their allocated crop harvests. Good grief, it's not a medication. Right, but anyway, we're going to be growing a lot of extra stuff. We've got to harvest all of it, and that will provide us with some well-needed money, because we're going to spend a lot of money over the winter season, predominantly upgrading equipment, as well as building new buildings. And the buildings is going to be quite an important thing. Now, bearing, sorry, goodness, I am really failing at English. Again, this has happened over the last couple of videos I've done. I've just managed to go, the English language, who needs that? Anyway, bearing in mind that today is Friday, that means it's a perfect day to go and visit Krobus, as on Fridays he sells one of the most useful pieces of equipment, an iridium sprinkler. Now, I do have the capability of getting iridium. It's just a pain in the posterior. So, I haven't acquired any as yet. But that's not the end of the world. I will get some, but I won't just yet. Now, one of the things that I do need to do as well as that is to obtain more money, generally, which is going to be easy enough today. Now, I do also want to visit the travelling cart when she appears, as there's a possibility that she has a pomegranate, which I know is potentially one of the weirdest things to be specific about, but I really need a bloody pomegranate. Again, not the end of the world. Now, of course, Robin is constructing for us the very first fish pond that we'll be having, which is wonderful, and I'm thinking I'm going to put lava eels into that one. I do want to have a second one with super cucumbers in it, because they can provide you with iridium ore when they're very pleased with you. Now, of course, I'm going to just sell everything that is silver and gold in quality, and then keep anything that's not, so I can preserve it or turn it into juice or wine or whatever. Now I'm just going to take that pale ale. Now that's for Pam, so that could be useful later on. Let's put the snails and such in there. So we've actually got quite a lot of snails and fish, which is good. So I could make a bunch of sashimi if I wanted to. Now I've grabbed the void egg because this lovely little thing, I want to have a void chicken. Now that I've got a dinosaur, I also want a void chicken. I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing to need and or want. Now, one of the things I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a bunch of bombs, because one of the things I'd like to do this afternoon, if we've got time, is go visit the desert, and I'm going to go into Skull Cavern, and I'm going to see how far I can get down it. And bombs are one of the easiest ways of doing so. Now, of course, I've got solar and void essence. That's not the end of the world, or particularly difficult. I don't know why I put that one back. I actually wanted all the gold other than one. There we go, fantabby-doozy. So I'm going to get some solar, and I should have grabbed 2 because I've got enough gold. But all the same, I'm going to have 2 mega bombs, a couple of normal bombs, and the advantage of these is that it actually means I can permanently kill the mummies, which have a chance of dropping cloth. And of course, I still need 4 cloth to make a blasted mill, as I want to start milling rice, beets, and corn. Wheat even, sorry, not corn. I don't think you can get corn flour in this. Maybe that's another mod I should look into. Now, I will obtain what I need. Just you watch. But I definitely want to get as far down as I can, and hopefully be able to make some iridium bars, as iridium equipment is kind of the goal really now. So there we go. So I got another cheese maker thingy. I'm going to need a milk pail for the time being, so I can actually go and harvest some more milk from the cattle. No, I don't want to eat the cheese. Oh, flippin' heck. I should have moved the thing over to the pan, which I've also grabbed, which I don't need, but that's still annoying because I don't need that. But I do need the milk pail, and I've tried to milk a chicken. Oops. I'm having a real good day there. Okay, so we've got 2 normal milks. I need a large milk, so nothing exciting there. And egg-wise, we're still getting small eggs from the chicken, from the brown chicken, that is. So hopefully soon enough we can get better than that, because we need the large ones so I can actually get what I need. Maybe another couple of mayonnaise machines wouldn't. Oh, there we go. That's where I put them. And we're just gonna pop back outside. We're gonna put the milk in the cheese press and put the pail away. So let's pop that there. Wonderful. Now, one of the things I might do is I might just quickly go and visit good old animal vending Marnie, as I would like a couple of goats. As goats, again, they are good milk producers, and just generally quite helpful. And I've got 40,000 gold. It's not the end of the world for me to purchase a couple of goats. And off we go, really. So let's plop that. Oh, drat, I meant to select the actual naming bit. Drat, I didn't want to call that whatever on earth that was. So let's see. Now, I'm going to select the barn for the goat. I don't think Goaty McGoatface will fit. So Danger Goat. It's like Danger Mouse, but Danger Goat. Now, I think that definitely ages me a little bit. I'm not sure if it ever even made it outside of the UK. It was a cartoon that we had when I was growing up of a very ridiculous white mouse with an eye patch called Danger Mouse. And he had a little mole companion, and I couldn't decide which word to use there, called Penfold. And he was an interesting little character. It was just very odd, and I think a little bit almost too British. It was very silly. Okay, Clovis, we're going to buy that, and I would very much like some of the monster furniture, but right now, not going to worry about it. Now, one of the things I was actually quite fortunate to do recently is I actually did some streaming with a friend of mine, and some of her followers were asking me whether I did streams and such, and it's something I have not really looked into doing, so I might actually have to look into doing that as well coming up. I think once I finish the autumn, I might do some streaming of me doing some of the more dumb stuff that I want to record, because I do want to make a few videos that are based around the what can one do with the mayor's underpants. Because there are quite a few things you can actually do to antagonise him. In the same way, once you get the gold Lewis statue, there are quite a few things you can do to upset him with that. And I think that's perfectly legitimate. So maybe later on. And I think it wouldn't hurt for me to record those with people watching, because then I can edit them and then put them up as an actual thing, or even actually just load the Twitch streamed thing onto YouTube so people can see the zaniness that goes on with that. Okay, so I've given Pam alcohol, and so of course I'm now going to let her have a good drink and get on a bus. So this could end badly. That would be a very funny little mod if someone's done it, where if you give Pam alcohol before she drives, she crashes. I mean, she seems like a reasonably functional alcoholic. So I've got a little bit of food, which is quite important. I've got the bombs. I'm definitely going to take a fair old crack of damage in the skull cabins. They are very, very dangerous in many ways. So we're just going to chop down a couple of trees, just because deforestation in a desert is a sensible idea, as we all know. But actually, it's mainly because I want the coconuts. Because coconuts are actually really useful as a... maybe not quite as high value as the cactus fruit, but they can still make you some cash. And they're quite good for some of the more... like turning them into wine. I think that's a general concept of like coconut wine. That sounds very peculiar. Maybe that's just me, but I can't imagine somebody making wine out of a coconut. But hey, people make alcoholic beverages out of all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff, so who knows? Righty, so let's just quickly have a look here. Okay, all the equipment does appear to be ready and in order. So away we trot. Now, of course, I can't kill those blasted flying bug creature-y things, so they're going to be quite frustrating anyway. So really, while I'm in here, I might hoe up some land. I think that's perfectly reasonable. Oh, you horrible slime, getting in the way so I can't hoe the land. How dare you? Die. Oh, goodness gracious me, that's a lot of purple slime. I think they have a chance of dropping iridium ore. I'm not expecting it, but I would not be upset if that happened. There we go. We've got some iridium ore from purple slimes. Get in. Lovely stuff. Obviously, we haven't got a particularly large collection of rocks in the way here, so I'm probably not going to use a bomb. It's going to be one of those, I could use it to clear out larger areas. Especially since I've only got a gold pickaxe. And also my weapon is, I'm not saying ineffectual, but I wouldn't say no to a new sword. Or hammer, or dagger, or whatever. Something to stab or beat enemies to death with would be nice. Okay, so some more void essence. So if I get enough gold, I could make more bombs while I'm in here. So that's kind of a big thing here. Now I'm going to eat the cactus fruit because it's an easy thing to eat. I might eat the trout soup. Okay, so we've got a ghost. So that could give the solar essence as well, which is helpful. A bit more quartz. Now, I know quartz isn't the most useful of materials in the grand scheme of things, but it's going to be very helpful for me specifically, as I want to make more refined quartz. Ooh, I was a little bit closer than I thought I was to that. I want to make more of the refined quartz walkways because I think they look pretty. And that's literally my main logic. Does that look nice? Yes, please. Okay, so we're going to jump down the hole. Fell 7 levels. So, I mean, we're on floor 10, and we've got a bunch of dinosaurs to kill, so this could be interesting. It's just making sure that you don't get hit too much by flamethrowers, which they keep hitting me with. Oh dear, oh dear. Die, Stegophlamosaurus. I'm pretty sure they have a specific name, but I don't actually know what it is. Again, I haven't really looked up on the wiki for that. So, I mean, hey, if someone can tell me what the actual name of these Stegophlamosaurus are, I hope it's not boring or dull. Oh. Although, for those of you out there, do you know that there is a town called Dull, and it is indeed twinned with a town called Boring? I believe one of them is in America and one of them is in Scotland. I think Dull is in Scotland. I think it's also twinned with another town in Australia that has an equally silly name. I'm trying to remember though. But, you know, that's exactly why you watch my channel, for weird and wonderful random nonsense trivia. Yeah. Although that being said, pub quizzes and nonsense trivia have always been my strong suit. I don't know why. Oh, another dinosaur egg, so that's going to be donated to the museum. Yeah, I just don't understand it, but I just happen to have the ability to retain pointless information. Nothing of any use is ever retained in my brain. But that's just how I roll. It does mean that I've been able to give some very peculiar answers over the years of just going, "What? How do you know that?" And he asked me to do like a music round. I am flat out terrible at that, and this is getting a bit hairy. I do not like this. Go away. Go away. What part of go away do you not understand? Leave me alone. Run away. Whoa, that was horrible. Okay, so I've fled like a coward. I'm well aware. But I'd rather flee like a coward than lose all of the gubbins that I've acquired. I'm just going to have a very quick run around the desert, see if there's anything else left of use or interest around here. So we've got another hoeable patch. Mixed seeds, not very useful right now, considering we're about to head into the winter. Although I am still getting closer and closer to that blasted greenhouse. I knew I need a couple more things from the animal bundle. The large brown egg is going to be the easiest one. I've just got to hope that my relationship with the chicken, which is a really strange concept to even consider. Yeah, can my relationship with the chicken progress to the point where it lays big eggs? The things you say outside of Stardew Valley, eh? Okay, so I've got a mixture of random guff, really, there. We'll just fling some of that into the vending machines. There we go, so we've got some coconut wine. I'm going to put the stuff that I don't need in my inventory away. That doesn't belong in here. And we need to put the stone away. We do have some wood, so I can put that away in there. But we've got some geodes, got some gems. That's kind of nice. We'll get rid of the vertebrae. I'll probably go visit Clint at some point so I can get him to smash up the geodes. And if I can get 5 iridium bars, I will upgrade either the axe or the pickaxe. Because I've got the gold bars and the money to do it. The watering can's going to be the next upgrade because it's the only steel item, sorry, iron or item. I know iron and steel are the same thing. Well, same base material, extra stuff added, sort of jobby. But no, I haven't got. It's the least upgraded piece of equipment I've got, and I do kind of need to deal with that. Partly because I really want a nice shiny gold one. Oh no, it is steel. Okay, that's good to know. I was correct in my assumption. Okay, so I'm just going to throw some other stuff into the vending box. So I don't need the plum wine. I don't need the prehistoric fibia tibia or the rib. There is one I need. I think it's the skull. I think for the mega sloth skeleton. It does still seem strange that the drops are from dinosaurs. Maybe they just eat mega sloths. Who knows? Although they're still prehistoric, so goodness gracious, I don't know. Okay, so we've got the. I kept forgetting. I didn't put the void chicken egg in the incubator like an absolute muppet. But we'll see if we can pop that in now. In we trod. Is there anything else that I need to do in here? Okay, so I'm going to quickly grab the. So I've got the nice. I've got my goats there. I mean, they won't be able to produce milk for a few days. That's not the end of the world. And they, like the ducks, are every other day. So that will be something to bear in mind. That they're not going to generate constantly. But then again, goat milk is slightly more valuable. So, it's a trade-off. But I've got 2 of them, and that'll be nice. And I would also like to upgrade both these 2. The barn and the coop. Partly because it's really going to be whether I get rabbits first or if I get sheep first. And I think rabbits might be more useful. Only because I still also need rabbit's feet. And I know they're a very rare drop from some of the enemies. But really, it's I kind of need the bunny. And that's for the wizard bundle. I mean, I've nearly finished the community centre in a year. I might actually be able to do it. Oh, no, I can't because I haven't got the red cabbage. But if somehow I can get a red cabbage seed, or an actual red cabbage from the travelling cart, there's a possibility. Maybe. I know I need Mackie rolls. Unfortunately, I haven't got the ability to do rice. I wonder if I think I can buy it from Pierre. I always forget if you can. I'll have to have a check. I think I might do that. Not tomorrow, because the town is cut off. You can't go into it, pretty much. Which is very annoying. But there we go. We made nearly 20k there. So we've essentially made back the money I spent on the goats. Which is nice. And that makes me feel rather pleased about that. Okay, so now we're into Saturday. So we've got 40 grand. So that's lovely. Oh, sorry, 41 grand if I'm going to be very specific and pedantic. So it's going to chuck it down with rain tomorrow. So actually now would be the perfect opportunity to try and upgrade the watering can. However, I have a horrible sneaking suspicion I won't be able to visit as the town is in upgrade frenzy. It's setting up for weird wibbly spoopy things. Spooky, ooh, and stuff. And this is quite amusing myself. This was something I was saying to my friend actually on stream, because actually it is nearly the end of October when I'm recording this. and I was having a chat with her about Halloween. So here in the UK, at least, Halloween isn't really a thing. Well, it definitely wasn't when I was growing up, and maybe that's just making me sound really old. I'm only in my 30s, but there wasn't really an opportunity for me to do trick-or-treating. My parents didn't really think that that was acceptable or a good idea, even though like we genuinely knew quite a lot of our neighbours. And that's definitely something that I will say is what is really nice to be able to say is, do you actually know the people who live around you? As a bit of a tangent, I can definitely say that I have a good relationship with a couple of my neighbours in the general vicinity. Borrow tools off of each other. We've worked together on projects, and one of my neighbours, we both share a really big interest in tabletop wargaming. So it's really nice to have a good rapport with people you live near. I'm not saying that that's a guarantee wherever you live, but it's something that I think I've learned as I've got older. Is I know as a student I was very reluctant to really try and introduce myself to neighbours, even though I thought it was probably prudent, especially if as a university student we don't exactly have a particularly good rap, shall we say. But anyway, my point really was that Halloween isn't really a big thing here. And I've never carved a pumpkin. Because hilariously, actually, we in the UK, particularly within Scotland, actually, it was carving turnips, not actually pumpkins. So that's the thing. Might be because of the, how native are a pumpkin. But I was saying to her that because she's American, she's very used to the whole going out trick-or-treating, and when I lived in the US, it very much confused me. It just wasn't a big thing for me or my the people I knew, and it would have been nice to kind of experience it at least once. And I know I'm far too old for it now. But then again, I spent a lot of time working in an alternative nightclub when I was younger, and Halloween was massive for that, which I think kind of makes sense. If you work in a pretty much goth club, Halloween's going to be a big time of year for you. And so all the spooky setting up and decorations, it's like, I mean, I could, but I don't really want to encourage trick-or-treating. Which I know makes me sound like a cantankerous old fart, but hear me out. I don't have sweets in my house. I don't understand why I would go out of my way to purchase sweets for a child to come and knock at my door and be like, give me sweets. But again, maybe that's because I didn't grow up with the whole trick-or-treating culture thing. Like, I never did it, so I don't really understand it. Perhaps if I lived in the United States again, I would get a slightly better understanding of it, because I'd be much more immersed in the fact that it's a thing. So maybe I don't know. Maybe anyone else who's sort of like in a similar sort of situation as I am. So maybe any expats from Europe who've gone to live in the United States and can say that like what their experiences have been with Halloween. Hey, please do tell me. I think it's a curious sort of unusual thing, but I've kind of always liked a little bit of the camp horror, like the very silly horror. When I say camp horror, I don't mean Julian Clary, oh, you gave me such a start sort of horror. So and that is actually a quote from the national treasure that is Stephen Fry. Of course, I can't do his voice, but Stephen Fry, absolute legend. Love the man. Love him to bits. He's genuinely a national treasure. But I mean, like the horror camp scenario. So like the Jason and that sort of stuff. That like that's always funny. But I really like B movies. I like really, really janky, bad zombie movies because they're really funny and very silly. And that's the sort of stuff that I like. So it looks like I cannot go into town. It's only 11 a.m, but I'm not allowed in. Yay! I'm going to cut down the tree I planted. That I was kind of hoping that Pam would walk through it and demolish it, but apparently she doesn't. Shame. So we're going to go and put some stuff back in the inventory because of course we can't really use any of it right now. So it kind of limits on what can we actually do right now whilst we're waiting. Now, of course, we need to be back in town so we can go and visit the Halloween celebration. I will freely admit there's not a huge amount as part of it. Meh. Again, I do genuinely think it's just because I don't have a big understanding of Halloween in the same way that an American or maybe a Canadian might actually have that capability of understanding the odd intricacies that is Halloween. I think also I've not actually been to the United States in a number of years. The last time I was there was for a friend's wedding, which was absolutely spectacular, lovely, absolutely wonderful event. But I haven't been for so long. You know what? I've got the cash for it. I'm going to buy the auto grabber. It means I don't have to worry about the milk pail. I don't need to worry about shears. I can literally do sweet nothing. Doing it. I do want another one because then I can put one in the coop, one in the barn. So that kind of means that I kind of want to upgrade the barn first then, don't I? Because then, if it does the shearing for me, then I should be able to get a sheep. And I think sheep generate wool faster than rabbits. I mean, that would make sense. We'll see. Anyway, so I bought a hat from the Hat Mouse that I forgot I had, and I'm going to wear a postmaster's hat. Yeah. I don't know about so as I've mentioned before, I've always loved dinosaurs, and as a kid I really wanted to be a paleontologist. But at the same time, I had a big fascination with Fireman Sam and Postman Pat. I think that's kind of normal, I guess, for a small child. I mean, they were virtually the only things on TV as a kid. It does make me laugh when I realise the dumb stuff that I grew up watching. And you're going, what? Oh my goodness, this is bizarre. So, we're going to put the fibre away. We've got a few other miscellaneous things, which is nice. Not much else, though. So, we've still got to wait a little bit of time. You know what? I might as well go up and do some mining. There's not much else I can do otherwise. I don't think. Well, okay. Well, I've got some harvestables there, which is good. So, I can get the pickled amaranth. Which is, again, useful stuff. Reasonable value. I should probably check and see, but again, I'm being very good. I'm still standing by I refuse to check the wiki. There we go, fling that in there. But I'm assuming pickled is probably more valuable than base. I think. Whether I'm correct on that, who knows? Well, I'm sure somebody knows out there and probably will tell me. It's always the way of video games. So, one of the other things that I will do is once I hit a year completed in Stardew is might look at doing some other games. What though? I'm not sure. I do have Graveyard Keeper and I would very much like to play that. Okay, so I don't have the scrolls required for doing the dwarf. And I've never actually played Graveyard Keeper, so that might be one that I do as a stream. Because I've got no idea and I think it looks fantastic. It looks really silly, really good fun. One of the other things I've been asked, actually, if I will stream again, is because a number of years ago I did used to stream The Binding of Isaac. Oh, wow, now that is a lot of iron. I can make bombs out of that. I'll need some more coal, but I can make a lot of bombs out of this. Fantastic. Oh, go away, ghosty. I've got a sword. I'll stab you. As effective as stabbing a ghost would be. Weird. Oh, okay. Refined quartz and solar essence. Again, useful stuff. And so we've got some more iron. Let's just cut up some of these slimes. They need to go away. Now, once I visit the Halloween-y event, there will be a few things that I will probably want to grab, because Pierre does sell, I think he sells one of the rare crows during it. which is, again, a useful piece of gear. Because then I think I'll actually have enough rare crows that I could probably get rid of the scarecrows that I've got. Replace them with the rare crows, and I think I can sell the normal scarecrow. Think being the operative word to that one. I could very well be wrong, but still need to get rid of them. Okay, so we've got some horrible slimes attacking me, which, please leave me alone. What part of go away do you not understand, you vile creature? Okay, now, so again, we've got probably, 71 iron ore. That's pretty good, and I think it's 4 ore to make a bomb, and 1 coal. So I'm near enough to be aiming able to make like 20 of them. Okay, another dwarf scroll. Unfortunately, not the one I need, because I've definitely had dwarf scroll 1. Skull is a beer. Let's just quickly mine that line there. I say mine. Hoe it. I'm hoeing the land in a mine, because cave carrots. Oh, okay, don't like that. Time to leave. Thank you. Going down to the next floor. Oh, okay, copper. That's not what I expected here, but alright. So we're going to slice our way through another slime here, and slowly progress as we go down the mines. I think it's around 10 o'clock that they set everything up ready for the town, so I mean we're coming close to that sort of time frame, so it won't be long. There we go. Spirits Eve event has begun in the town square, so we're going to head back to town and we're going to enjoy the Spirits Eve. Ooh, spooky. This is why I shouldn't be allowed out in public, I swear. Hang on, the mine cart's right there. Why am I not using that? Come on, Walrus, be sensible. Okay, right. So, we've got... I mean, I have had a productive fall. I fell down a flight of stairs. Right. So, I'm going to get the recipe for the jack-o'-lantern, because that's kind of cool. I'm definitely going to buy the rare crow. Probably should buy the other bits, but don't really care. Right, now, I remember this maze all too well. Now, this is one of those weird ones that I accidentally figured out how to complete it. So, if you get stuck, there is a sneaky way. It's not here. It is actually a little bit further. It's on the left-hand side of the maze. As you wander around the maze, you will find, we see Alex saying that like he knows that there's something there, and it's up here by that question mark sign. It should be reasonably obvious. Also, you can see that there is a slight difference in colour of this middle patch here on the grass. So, we then get to go into this mine entrance here. And it's a little bit of a wiggly line down, but we find our way through. And we get the golden pumpkin, which has no other use other than it's valuable. So, maybe I should just sell it. I usually end up just putting it as a table decoration or something on the farm. But the thing is, because it's one of those games where you don't really have people visiting your farm, like other players, you don't really go, oh, that's a cool idea. I like that. Other than if you watch people's videos like this. I know my farm is a disorganized mess, to be fair. But there's a lot of the things like the collectible items like the golden pumpkin. Like, well, what am I going to do with it? Meh. It just doesn't have much use. But I'll hold on to it for now because I can put it on a table and be like, yeah, I did a thing. Go me. Okay, well, Harvey's terrified, apparently. Apparently everybody who lives in this village is terrified of everything. It's rubbish. Weird and wonderful. Okay, so we got some skeletons. I guess that's a weird thing though about this. It's like there is the weird slight like magical element, like skeletons and zombies and all that sort of weird and wonderful. It's very silly. Yes, indeed, I have been into the haunted maze and I found the shiny thing. I think Vincent, you might be a smidge young for it. And good old Gus making stuff. So he says it's fun to cook with pumpkin. Are you sure? Are you really sure? Because I don't personally think so. I know I've ranted about pumpkins in the last few videos, but I just don't think they're exciting. Maybe it's something I need to actually experiment with more. And because I'm a big fun fan of actually trying out different recipes, maybe if someone out there has a good recipe for something involving pumpkin, send it to me, link it to me in the comments. I will try it. Whether I'm any good at it, very different question. But I will try it and see if it's actually good. And maybe it might change my opinion on pumpkin. Because I would very happily enjoy changing my opinion on it. We will see, of course, however. So that's an open invitation to anyone in the comments or any other way. If you can leave a comment and give me a link to a... Please don't link me to somebody's food blog where they talk for about 27 pages about... Once upon a time, I was a little girl in a forest and my granddad died, and I'll always remember him by eating pumpkin frittatas or something. And then... Ugh, I hate those so much. Just stop giving me your life story. I don't care. Literally give me the recipe. If you want to have a ridiculous food blog and give me the, like, rant about stuff, like, give me a life story, just at least condense it to no more than a few sentences. Nobody cares. I don't know. I don't know whether that's just something that annoys me. I mean, I hope it's not just me, because otherwise I am just the cantankerous old git that I promised myself I would never become, and I've actually just fallen into that territory. But I'm a big sucker for trying out different recipes. I found a really good recipe for a vegetable samosa recently, and I was very pleased with that. Oh, that's annoying. It doesn't fit in the middle of the table. Ugh. Well, fine. You can stay there then, I guess. I'll put the cave carrots in, because I think they actually have a use in a couple of the recipes, like the roots platter. And I think it's a mining burger or something. I can't remember what it's actually called, but... Oh, wow, we made a lot of money there. 26k. That's nice. So, we're into the final day now. So, it's Sunday, the 28th day of fall. And my sea urchin is still wearing a fedora. Sorry, a cowboy hat. And that's what I gave him. Okay, so, artichoke dip. Okay, now we know how to make artichoke dip. And here's the fun part. I've very rarely eaten... Oh, the phone's ringing? What? I don't think I've ever seen the phone ring. That's creepy. That's very weird. So we've got a little bit of corn to grab. We've got a pumpkin, and we've got a bunch of cranberries. The cranberry jam's actually quite good as a general cooking recipe. So that won't be too bad. Get a bunch of those. And that'll be nice and easy. So we'll just grab them. Wonderful stuff. Now, what next? We'll check the cave, because, of course... Oh, a purple mushroom. That's more valuable. I know that the mushrooms actually have, like, a general higher payout. But I do really wish I'd taken the back cave. I've never actually taken it in any of my playthroughs, and I don't know why. I feel really daft for the fact that I've never actually done it. Okay, so we've got the fish pond ready. So I'm going to go fling a lava eel into that, because that'll be good. We've got all this corn here to harvest. Now, I think I've only got 2 iridium sprinklers, and I want to get a minimum of 6, because the optimal way of laying out the greenhouse requires 6 iridium sprinklers if you don't have any of the upgrades from Ginger Island. So that could be interesting. So flog all of these that I really don't need. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Righty, so we're going to go throw a lava eel into the pond at some point. And let's get some of these minerals away. Let's grab the gold. So let's get that watering can upgraded. At least let's get it started so we can actually be at least half prepared. Ready, I guess. We'll see. Okay. Now, One of the other things that I do need to do is, as well as getting everything smashed apart and sold and all that guff, is actually be ready for the winter. Now, it might sound a bit daft, but there is a lot of unusual stuff that sort of appears during the winter in Stardew, which is quite nice. And there's lots of cool stuff. I do just like the weird and wonderful that is Stardew. And the winter is beautiful. It's also my favourite season in general. And I think that's like maybe another thing that kind of makes me a bit jealous of like the memory I have of living in the United States is it doesn't snow here very often. I'm in the south coast of the UK. I'm pretty close to the sea. I mean, come on. I don't think there's anywhere in the UK that's more than 60 miles from the sea. We are a small island. And because of that, it does mean that salty air and no snow. Well, very rarely snow, at least. It's something I'd really like to see. I miss seeing snow at Christmas. It's only happened, I think, 2 or 3 times in my life. And 2 of them were when I lived in the US. So I think there was one white Christmas as a child I had. Maybe one. But it's quite a romanticised idea. I mean, it's lovely as a general idea, but it's an interestingly romanticised idea created by Charles Dickens. Because as a child, he lived through the Little Ice Age, if memory serves, and he pretty much always saw snow on Christmas. So, blame Charles Dickens for our general fantasy of having a white Christmas. There we go. A little random tidbit fact for you there. As I mentioned earlier, pointless trivia. Yeah, I mean, at what point is that ever going to be useful? Well, I'm sure there'll be one esoteric point that'll be useful, but I wouldn't say it is really helpful right at this very moment in time. Ooh, blackberry. Anyway, so we're going to quickly go in here, and we're going to go and visit Clint, and I'm going to go smash some stuff for me, because I would very much enjoy you smashing up some rocks. Thank you very much, because some iron ore is nice. And other gubbins. What else are we going to get? I wonder if it's anything else that's horribly toxic. I should probably look them up, actually, like nickelite and other stuff, and see how horrifically bad they are for you. That'd be quite fun. So we're going to sell those. And okay, so we're going to start the gold watering can upgrade. And where next? I think, honestly, we should go back to the desert. It's probably the best shout. Once we deposit all the gubbins. This is why I grabbed the bombs, because I was thinking, maybe the desert again? I mean, iridium. And every iridium bar allows me to make 1 more sprinkler. So, it's a possibility. I mean, I know I'm going to need a lot of iridium bars to get what I need and be ready. So we'll see. I mean, I've scythed up all the grass earlier. Oh, I've still got the egg. So I scythed up all the grass that's outside because, of course, I don't need it right now. It's going to be, well, harvestable in the grand scheme of things, isn't it? I don't need it, really. Other than for the animals, because, shockingly enough, they kind of need that stuff. So that's going to be the thing there. So we're going to give Gunter the egg. There you go, good sir. Have an egg. Meh. I was expecting to get at least something from that. Apparently not, though. Okay, so we've got a blackberry out of his bin, though. Yeah. Admittedly, though, if blackberries were that large, I'd be a little bit more excited about them. I do love blackberries. And they're a wonderful fruit to bake with. Blackberry and apple fruit crumbles. That is definitely my jam. Or a blackberry and apple pie, actually. Just generally. I think a blackberry and apple is a very good combination. Very much delicious. But then again, I also don't... I've never bought blackberries, and they always like when they're cultivated, they're quite a lot larger than the wild ones. So maybe because I've always only ever harvested wild berries. Don't know. Ooh, okay. So we've got a mummy. Now these are going to be helpful because I need their bindings. I need the cloth from them. So I'm gonna try and not waste bombs by hitting multiple at the same time with an explosion. I think that would be more prudent, but of course these ghosts are antagonizing me is probably the easiest way of putting it. Go away. What part of sod off do you not understand? Right, let's go and hide in this corner here. Didn't kill the ghost. Oh, we only got solar essence. Rubbish. I was hoping for cloth, which I'm sure is less valuable than the solar essence, but it's still what I would need more. Thank you very much. So I'm going to eat these blackberries just because that's a little bit of very quick health. That's quite nice. I'm just going to go and smash this guy in the face with a big sword. Oh my goodness, they hit really... Oh yeah, they're pretty much immune to knockback, aren't they? I mean, well, I said that, and now this guy's just actually taking knockback. Maybe I'm talking out of my posterior again. Would not be the first time. I do have a habit of doing that, unfortunately, sometimes. As one of the curses I found, especially as I do a fair bit of voice acting, and when I talk about things, I've been recruited because of my voice, that it can sound a little bit much more convincing, and I do kind of worry that I'm going to get hired to do some stupid thing, and I fear that my voice will be associated with, you should join this MLM, which will drive me around the bend. Of course, I'm vaguely sensible enough to not end up in a company like that, or be paid for... I'd refuse that hands down. I am not dealing with a multi-level marketing nonsense, thank you very much. I do not like watching people be abused for no reason other than, well, greed. So anyway, before I start going off on a tangent again. Oh no, a dragon thing, go away! Oh my goodness, it's chopped like half my health off. I need to get out of here soon. That's not good. Go away. I got a bomb, that's nice. Useful, I guess. So I've got a little bit of iridium ore so far, which is nice. The more of that I can... Ooh, that appeals. There's something about smashing large quantities of boxes that just appeals to me. I think it might be based on my old historic playing of The Legend of Zelda and the Ocarina of Time, and just running in and smashing up pots. Because I will shamelessly admit that was actually the first Zelda game I actually played. But I did go back and I played all of the others. And I actually prefer the Link to the Past. More than the Ocarina of Time. There's something about it. I just like the way it plays. It's fun. And then I can never remember the name of it. The one with the windfish. That one I very much enjoyed. Because it's just so silly. I had that on the Game Boy. And I never played the remaster of it. Mostly because I don't own a Switch. But I would very much enjoy playing that because I think it looks silly. But, you know, I do like the fact that there is that dichotomy of the more adult Link, like there is in Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess and Majora's Mask, where it's a lot darker. And then you've got the more sprightly, silly Toon Link, like Wind Waker. But as one of my friends, she was watching me play Wind Waker. She actually, because I'd never actually fully played it, and she insisted I played it. So I did, and she got really annoyed about the fact that I play as Captain Kleptomania. If there's a monster in front of me, I will use the hook rope, and I will steal whatever they're carrying. I don't care who you are, I will steal from you. I am Link. I am a thief. And it meant that I was able to complete a bunch of the silly side quests where get 100 of these necklaces and yada 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 really quickly, because of course I was stealing it from everybody. Captain Klepto. Okay, so I've taken a fair crack at damage there. That wasn't good. I'll chop down the trees. I've got so much energy lying around at the moment. I'm not expecting to run into anything horrible in the desert. So I'm going to head back to home very soon with things. Bloody smug camel looking at me, being all smug. I see you there. I don't know why I don't like the camel. It's just that little smug face. Again, small things, small minds. I'm very well aware. Don't worry. Okay, so a bunch of cactus fruit. That's nice. So that's valuable. That can be sold. That can be turned into wine. It can be turned into jam. It's useful more than anything. And another coconut and another cactus fruit. Lovely stuff. Soon enough, though, I will be able to start growing cactus fruits indoors once I finish the greenhouse. That'd be nice. So, I mean, there's a lot of really useful stuff there, which I've never really purchased everything from him. I bought the butterfly hutch a couple of times because it's pretty, and it's one of those very nice things I generally will have in the house because I just like it. I think I would actually put one on the in the greenhouse because I think that'd be quite pretty more than anything. Maybe that's something I should do. Get a couple of them and put one in the greenhouse because it's pretty. And a greenhouse full of butterflies is lovely. As a concept. I like that. I don't know whether it was a mod that I was playing for Skyrim, but I do remember that I had one of the houses and it sort of had a greenhouse, I think. And it was just, I had lots of butterflies and bees flying around in it. And I thought that was really lovely. As an environmental effect. I know, again, as I've said before, small things, small minds. Okay, so we've got a few other random things that could be useful. Got some more mixed seeds that we don't need. We've got some more monster loot that we can deposit. We don't have enough iridium to smelt for one. That's a shame. But we're getting there. We've got a few. Yes, I need more. Understandably so. We'll put the acorn away. We will pop the void and solar essence away. Okay, so we've pretty much distributed everything carefully. And I think we're pretty much ready to roll into the next season. I know, obviously, you're going to clear out all those crops because they're all going to be dead and that's going to be a thing, but not too difficult to deal with. Just grab these pine tars because... and pine tar is lovely. So I'm going to cut down all those pine trees there and I'm going to replace the 4 maple trees that are there with pine to make a production of them. Because I kind of think maple syrup might be more useful to have 6 of rather than 6 pine. But I also do need to have a better location for those damn oak ones because they're near Grandad's shrine and that's not a terrible place for them. It's just I just forget that they're there. So I forget to go and harvest from them. But then again, the fact that I can get the oak resin is kind of the big thing. It's not that I'm unable to harvest it or acquire it. Because that was the big issue I had. It was at first I just didn't have any tappers on them. I just had no way of getting any oak resin, which was a very big hindrance to me, actually. Because without it, what am I going to do? I can't make certain things without it. And off we trot. So, okay, so we've got our large pine tree selection there, which is just our copper sing of I want wood, thank you very much. We've got our... Oh, actually, some of these hardwood trees have grown again. That'll be good. So I'll cut them down. I should be very careful this time. Let's try that again. I'm going to cut that one down. And, of course, I can see that there is oak resin available, so I should probably go and grab that. I can never remember that if during the season change, if being winter prevents you from then harvesting from the tappers or not. I'm not sure. I genuinely cannot remember. But I should probably go and grab it now just to be on the safe side. So I'll just go and do that. I'll chop that down, grab 6 oak resin. I forget what that's actually used in the manufacture of, but I'm pretty sure there's a few things that are very handy. Oh well. Life happens. Now, okay, so I'm going to flog the mayonnaise and the cheese, because I don't need that. And I think, otherwise, we're pretty much ready to roll. Well, the oak resin and the pine tar can... Yeah, I do need more oak resin, really, don't I? Can go into this construction box. And throw the cheese in. And... Is there anything else I need to do? I'm having a think. I genuinely don't think there is. I don't think there's anything else I can do right now. I guess it's a little bit late if I suddenly went, oh, I needed to do this, being that it's 10:30. But I think that's very much well going to be the end of everything ready for this season. I might actually just try and cook a couple of things. I think that might be interesting. Let's cook an omelette. I've not done one of those. I'll make a couple of tortillas. What else will we do? Let's make that artichoke dip, actually. That'll be interesting. There we go. Made an artichoke dip. And roots platter, because I can. I might as well just go and sell those in a minute. Or put them in the fridge for now. But yes, I think that's pretty much going to wrap up everything that we've got here in this quite a nice long episode today. So, I hope you have enjoyed watching the end of the autumn and fall season. And I hope that you'll subscribe, like, and share my voice with all of those that you would like to share it with. Goodbye from the Walrus.